Hi everyone, Canoopsy here, and this is the Xiaomi Mi A2, the follow-up to the successful and well-regarded Xiaomi Mi A1. Now, the Mi A2 runs a special version of Android called Android One. It's actually a program directly from Google that gives a select range of phones super clean, consistent software, the latest software features, 2 years of guaranteed software updates, which are the big updates, and 3 years of security updates. It's very easy to compare this phone to a Pixel device except with a budget price. The phone starts at $265 US unlocked with free shipping to the US at GearBest.com for the 4GB of RAM model and 32GB of storage. You can also pay a bit more for 6GB of RAM and 128GB of storage at still a very reasonable and very affordable price. Now, besides the software, the design of this phone is also very high quality as well. The phone is made completely of aluminum and it feels very high quality, but the aluminum lacks any sort of grip at the back. It's kind of like the OnePlus 5T. It's very slippery, very slick. You're gonna need a case. And thankfully there is a case actually included in the box, but it's just kind of a cheap plastic case. There's sadly no headphone jack on this device, but you do get a dongle in the box to use. There's a single speaker. There's also a fast rear fingerprint scanner, and actually this phone has an IR blaster, which is very different to see on a 2018 smartphone. It's a great feature, but sadly this phone is not water resistant at all. Moving up front, this phone has a 6-inch 1080p LCD display that looks really good in my opinion and doesn't have a notch, thankfully, which is very refreshing to see in 2018 on a smartphone. But the light version for some reason does have a notch, which is kind of strange. The display itself is also bright, it's vibrant, colors look pretty solid, kind of accurate as well. Viewing angles aren't perfect, but they're way better than I expected for a phone of this price. While only being 1080p, sharpness is also very, very decent. So the hardware isn't anything super unique or different or groundbreakingly new, it's just kind of a metal phone that looks good, feels good, and is definitely very solid. Nothing drastically different or anything, but it is a good looking phone. Now this phone has some great specifications for the price as well. My model has a Snapdragon 660, 4GB of RAM, and 32GB of storage. And with these specifications, the phone really performs like a dream. Now it's not going to be as fast as the Google Pixel 2 XL, OnePlus 6, or Galaxy S9 for example. Those phones are in a whole different league completely. But for the price, it's definitely very, very fast. Opening apps is quick, and gaming is smooth with some even hardcore titles as well, like PUBG, and generally for my usage, it's pretty great for performance. Sometimes you will see some frame drops or slight lag just when opening applications or swapping apps and multitasking, and the phone may get slower over time, but there's really no way of knowing at this point. Definitely for better multitasking and of course for better future-proofing, you may want to actually look at the 6GB of RAM model instead, just for that extra assurance for longevity with this device. I've also had no problems here with LTE or calls in Canada on the TELUS network, but this may vary internationally. The speed here is also due to the very clean software as well. There's basically no bloat, just a few Xiaomi applications, beautiful consistent design, and while MIUI has always kind of scared me away from Xiaomi phones, the quality hardware and quality software here make for kind of a perfect unison. And not everyone actually loves stock Android or super pure minimal versions of Android. This phone doesn't have all the customization features or features baked in or tweaks that you'd have on a Samsung phone or MIUI Xiaomi phone, but for me personally it's kind of my ideal version of Android that I really enjoy using. Of course, as I mentioned in the intro as well, this phone won't be left in the dust for software updates as well. You're going to get 2 guaranteed years of the latest version of Android and 3 years of all the different security updates that come around. This is kind of a feature in and of itself because many Android phones, especially in this price range, really never get updates after you actually buy them. They don't get any security updates, definitely no software updates, so it's very refreshing to actually see on this phone consistent software updates. Battery life on this phone is also quite decent for me as well. With 3010 mAh, I can usually get through a full day of my medium to heavy usage with picture taking, YouTube videos, and social media almost constantly on this device. There is sadly no wireless charging or quick charging on this phone, so that is definitely a bit of a negative. So I was actually a bit wrong about that point. This phone does actually support Quick Charge 3 or Quick Charge 4 if you have the Indian variant, but the issue here though is that the adapter in the box doesn't actually support those full charging speeds. So to get those full charging speeds, you have to go out and buy a separate adapter that supports Quick Charge 3 or Quick Charge 4. So there you go. The phone does thankfully charge through USB-C though. Now let's talk about this phone's cameras, because they are surprisingly great, especially for this phone's price. The 20 megapixel selfie camera takes crispy shots that look really excellent, and that portrait selfie mode is also surprisingly great too. The rear camera setup is 12 megapixels and 20 megapixels with an f1.75 aperture, and the 20 megapixel camera is the secondary camera, and it's kind of a low light focus camera that automatically comes on in low light and makes shots a bit more bright, a bit sharper, with less noise. In my opinion, low light pictures do look pretty good, but I would have preferred definitely a telephoto camera just for that extra versatility, but I guess it is fine here. And for pictures with the main camera, dynamic range is solid, sharpness is on point, and colors are vibrant but not too oversaturated. The results really remind me a lot of pictures taken on the OnePlus 6, and that's definitely a good thing. Both have really excellent cameras, and here, it's very impressive. .1080p video has electronic stabilization, while 4K video has no stabilization whatsoever. Despite this lack of EIS or OIS in 4K though, video does look really good with great sharpness, colors, and dynamic range. To summarize, this phone has great hardware, great software, great performance and specifications, great camera, all at a great price. In the budget category, this is definitely an incredible deal. It won't be the fastest phone ever, and of course if you're importing the phone, it won't have the best warranty ever either. Regardless, this phone is definitely very affordable and offers a lot of what I think makes a great Android phone. Plus 2 years of consistent software updates definitely doesn't hurt either. And that's really it for the Xiaomi Mi A2. Let me know in the comments down below your thoughts on this phone, and thank you for watching.